My name is Keenan Davis, and primarily I'm a State Farm owner or agent. I also sit on the board of directors for the Grant County Rescue Mission, the training center, and also the Visitors and Convention Bureau for Grant County. This is Rena's story. My abuse started when I was just 7 years old. My dad would take me to the bedroom, close the windows, and lock the door. He would have me lay on the bed with him and play Tickle Monster. He would take my clothes off and suck on my nipples. He said it was okay. It was to make my boobs grow big. He would take my panties off and touch me. He said our Tickle Monster game was a secret and not to tell anyone. When he was playing Tickle Monster with me, he was telling me how stupid and nasty I was or beating on me. When I told my mom I was 12 years old, she asked me what I wanted her to do. When I told my bishop, he said, sometimes daddies do that. When I was only 9 years old, my best friend's brother was sleeping on the couch, and she and I were on the floor in front of the couch. I woke to him trying to kiss me and his hands in my panties. I didn't know what to do, so I pretended I was still asleep. If I moved around, he would stop for a minute. He then tried to put his mouth on my private area. I jumped up and I went to the bathroom. I was only 15 when I was held down while my friend's brother and cousins took turns raping me. Throughout my childhood, I was molested and raped by my father and friends' brothers, cousins, uncles, and dads countless times. I thought that was what God had planned for me on this earth and what he put me here for, so men could torture and abuse me. My first adult relationship was mentally, physically, and sexually abusive. He would put hot light bulbs to my skin and hold them there while he watched my skin bubble. He called the daily rape sex. The more I screamed, the tougher he got. He told me that if I ever tried to leave, he would bury me in his backyard. It wasn't until I miscarried my twins, he flushed them down the toilet, that I was able to leave. This continued into my adult years. I was told it happens because I let it, because I must want it, because I'm weak and only I can't stop it. My first marriage was mentally, physically, and sexually abusive. He always reminded me of how stupid I was. He would slap me around and choke me. One day, I woke to him taping my hands and feet together. When I asked what he was doing, he said, getting what I want, and proceeded to sodomize me. I divorced this man and thought all the abuse would stop. 15 years later, when I began dating a man who seemed to be everything I ever wanted, he was so nice and sweet. He bought me roses and took me shopping. He always said the right things. I could never have imagined what was to come over the next 3 years. He mentally and physically abused me more than anyone had ever done. It was always my fault. He said I made him this way. I received a voicemail from a close family friend telling me his aunt had passed away. She was like my aunt too. He saw it on my phone and went crazy. For 4 hours, he kicked me, threw me around the room, choked me until I passed out, suffocated me with pillows, slammed my head into the wall and mirrors, all the while yelling at me how I wanted this and deserved it, how I was a whore and I was stupid. He took my phone and wouldn't allow me to use the landline. He would tell me I could leave, then block my way or slam the door closed as I was trying to leave. He put a pillow over my face and told me he was going to help me die. He held it there until I stopped moving, then removed it and said he was sorry and he loved me and would never hurt me. He leaned down and licked my cheek and told me I could leave if I wanted. I jumped over the bed and ran out of the room and down the hall yelling for someone to help me. This was the 4th time I had left him. We spent months apart and he reeled me in again. The abuse started again, continued to abuse me for the remainder of our relationship. He never called. He always video chatted so he could see what was going on in the house. He had a security system installed so he would know if a door or window was open while he was gone. The security system would alert him on his phone as soon as the doors and windows were open. He would track my phone, so he always knew where I was. I stayed with him because I wanted him to kill me. He reminded me daily of how stupid and worthless I was. I was done with this world of men abusing me. I just wanted to die. I got so depressed that I knew if he killed me, I was going to. I was afraid that I really would take my own life to make it all just stop. I was done. I had enough. I reached out to my sister for help. I would text her and then turn my phone off so he wouldn't know. I did this multiple times, hoping she would have someone get me before he killed me or I was killed myself. When the police arrived, I was ready to go to jail, the hospital, anywhere to get away from him. I told them if they made me stay in that house, I would be leaving it in a body bag because if he didn't kill me, I was going to. The police tried to talk to me, but I wanted nothing to do with him, feeling that they had helped him so many times figure out where I'd been. This man had followed me across the country from Indiana to Texas, to Oregon, to Mississippi, to Kentucky, and back to Indiana. He told me he knew where my kids lived and would always find me. Today, I'm learning to love myself and figure out my purpose in this world. Well, I know many civilians feel like they really can't do anything unless they are a part of the police force or a direct advocate group. But I chose to find a way. And in 2019, I started an initiative called I Stand for Peace. And one of the aspects of that was domestic violence. I, as a young kid, watched that happen to my mother, and it stayed with me for the rest of my life. So when I got a chance, I wanted to start an awareness of just a peaceful movement, including domestic violence. That's huge and it's bigger than what we acknowledge, and it doesn't get enough attention. A lot of women, even the ones that I've talked to and just at work or coworkers, they are going through domestic violence, and they won't even acknowledge that that's what it is. They excuse it because it has become a norm, or they have accepted it as a way of life. But that's what I Stand for Peace is. And I want my logo to be a part of the community, to where in Grant County, when you see the logo, it will remind people in those situations that, you know, we need to push towards peace. And what I'm doing right now is not pushing that idea. So that is what I've done so far, and I plan on doing more.